Hi, my young readers. This is Sarah from Soso Stories. Today we will read about the promise. Let's see what this is. The promise is written by Nicola Davies and the illustration is done by Laura Carlin. The promise. When I was young, I lived in a city that was mean and hard and ugly. Its streets were dry as dust, cracked by heat and cold, and never blessed with rain. A gritty yellow wind blew constantly, scratching around the buildings like a hungry dog. Nothing grew, everything was broken. No one ever smiled, so you can see how dreary and grim the colors are. Nothing grew in this land. Everything was broken. People did not smile. The people had grown as mean and hard and ugly as their city. And I was mean and hard and ugly too. I lived by stealing from those who had almost as little as I did. My heart was as shriveled as the dead trees in the park. So here you can see the child is stealing from somebody's pocket. And then one night I met an old lady down a dark street. She was frail and alone, an easy victim. Her bag was fat and full, but when I tried to snatch it from her, she held on with the strength of heroes. To and fro we pulled that bag until at last she said, "If you promise to plant them, I will let go." What did she mean? I didn't know or care. I just wanted the bag, so I said, "All right, I promise." She loosened her grip at once and smiled at me. I ran off without a backward look, thinking of the food and money in her bag. You can see how scary the city is. But when I opened it, there was only acorns. I stared at them, so green, so perfect, and so many, and understood the promise I had made. I held a forest in my arms, and my heart was changed. I forgot the food and money, and for the first time in my life, I felt lucky, rich beyond my wildest dreams. I slept with the acorns for my pillow, my head full of leafy visions. And in the morning, I began to keep my promises. I planted beside roads, on roundabouts, among rubble, ruins, and rusty railings, by train tracks, tram lines, and traffic lights, in abandoned parks and gardens laced with broken glass, behind factories and shopping malls, at bus stops, cafes, blocks of flats, I pushed aside the mean and hard and ugly, and I planted. You can see how she's planting everywhere. Nothing changed at first. The gritty wind still scratched the parched, cracked streets. The people scowled and scuttled to their homes like cockroaches. But slowly, shoots of grain began to show. Trees, first here and there, then everywhere. People came onto the streets to see. They touched the leaves in wonder and they smiled. They took tea together by the tiny leaves. They talked and laughed. And pretty soon they were planting too. Trees and flowers, fruit and vegetables. In parks and gardens, on balconies and rooftops. Green spread through the city like a song, breathing to the sky, drawing down the rain like a blessing. But by then I was already far away, planting in another sad and sorry city. And another. There we see that the reformed thief is filling the world with trees, and everybody is joining in. And another world, and yet another world, so colorful and beautiful. At last night in a lonely alley, a young thief fought me for my sack of acorns and smiled, and I made the old bargain, knowing how a heart can change, knowing that my planting will go on. And here, young reader, you too have made a promise to fill your part of the world with green plants.